Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm doing Q&A. In my previous video, I was gonna do a Q&A once I hit 10K. And so I posted a post on Instagram and people left their questions down in the comments. And so I just printed them out and cut them, and I'm gonna pick them up from this little hat and pick them out by random and answer them. I did go over a few of the questions just to see if there was repeats, so I kind of grouped them. So I'll let you guys know which one of you asked the question. So if there's a few of you asking a similar question, I kind of grouped you guys together. But yeah, so let's get started. Okay, first question. This is so cheesy, I know, hat, picking out things random, but whatever. All right, first question. What queens are your favorite, and would you ever make them into dolls? A lot of them are my favorite. I have quite a few that I like from Drag Race, and some that aren't from Drag Race. And I do plan on doing quite a few of them. I mean, I've done a few of my favorites like Trixie and Naomi and Violet Chachki. So there's a lot more coming up. It just takes a while. So yeah, I have quite a few on my roster that I really want to do. Okay, so what is the most complicated repaint you ever did? I'm going to have to say the Emma Watson Belle doll. That one, the scale of the head is a lot smaller than, well, it's quite a bit smaller than a Barbie and a Monster High doll. So it was a new kind of canvas for me to paint on. And then getting her features right, she has this very somewhat androgynous look to her, so it was kind of hard to capture it without making it look too boyish and still keeping her like feminine features all together. So that one was the most complicated. I like the way it turned out. I mean, I painted it like 3 times over and over, and I like where it ended up, but that definitely had to be the hardest that I ever had to repaint ever. Alright. Okay. What is the average time it takes you to do a repaint? That really depends. So basically for the actual repainting of the face, if I can focus, because my attention span is so tiny, I like jump around from different things and never really sit still to get something done. But when I do, the repaint could take me up to like maybe 2 hours, only because I work a little slower in my repainting and drawing. I know some people can do it in like 45 minutes, but that's not me. Yeah, it takes me at least like 2 hours. If I'm distracted a lot, it's probably gonna take me maybe 5. I know that's a long time. All right. Okay, another grouped one. What is your favorite doll to use for repaints? Are there any that you're considering trying in the future? Okay, so first it was Monster High dolls. Like, I just liked the size of their head. It had like a pretty big surface to redraw on, so it was a good practicing doll, and I still enjoy doing those. But now moving on to the Barbies, which are smaller, I think the more and more that I do them, I'm enjoying working on those a lot. I think maybe because of the human part of it. I mean, I love the whole Monster High idea and the way the dolls looked, but I just think trying the Barbies is cool. And then for future ones, I do plan, like my goal is to but there's quite a few different dolls that I want to try painting on, just so that I pretty much challenge myself and I don't get bored at the same time. So I do plan on doing a repaint on those little baby dolls. They're like LOL dolls. They look like tiny little babies. I'm gonna do a repaint on one of those. Probably not drag related, but just a repaint of them. I wanna do a repaint on Bratz dolls. I wanna do, what else? I've been repainting those Shibajuku girl dolls. Those are pretty big in like the size of their head. They have like the inset eyes. So that's a challenge in itself. And then I also bought a couple of secondhand like Mycene Barbie dolls, because just their face sculpts were different from the other ones, so I thought they'd be something new for me to draw on. So I have quite a few of those to do. Basically, I have a lot of ish to repaint. Yeah. Will you ever start selling your repainted dolls? Basically, one, I still feel like I have a lot to learn and a lot of practice that I need to get done on these repaints. I like the way they look and the way they're coming out, but I feel like my skills can get even better as time goes on. I think space may cause me to sell some at some point, but I know not anytime soon. And if I do, it'd probably be my repaints of the Monster High characters, because the Drag Race ones I hold a little bit more dearly because it's something that I worked with on my mom, who made the costumes on them, and it's just kind of a fun memory for me. And yeah. What kind of responses have you had from the queens you've made dolls of? And do you have any tips for making tiny costumes? Okay, so as for the tiny costumes, I don't have any because I don't make any of them. The Trixie Mattel doll I made, the outfit I had bought online from an Etsy. It was a vintage Barbie nightie, and all I did was cut the bottom and sewed the hem back up. I don't really know. I mean, practice makes perfect. I'll ask my mom if she has any tips for you. But yeah, no tips on the clothing. And then as for the responses, everybody has been super nice and seems to really enjoy the dolls and really appreciative of just me spending time on doing something for them. Naomi Smalls, I feel was super awesome and super nice in the way that she responded to my dolls. She seems super authentically excited, as well as the other girls, but she just, I don't know, it just she reposted it and I was just super excited that she was so happy with it. So I think overall all the responses have been pretty well, which is awesome. It'd suck if they were oh, your doll's crap. Okay, next one. What's the most difficult part of doing the repaints? I think the hardest part is basically working on such a small surface and not always having the right tools for it. The brushes I use aren't always the finest, and it kind of makes it hard to get small details. And then also with the watercolor pencils, I press really hard when I draw, so it's very easy for the fine tips to break. That's the hardest part for me personally, is trying to get those small details in and making them look clean. Still one of the things I want to get down right, but for now I think it's okay. Next doll repaint. I cannot tell you because that defeats the whole joy out of, I don't know, I kind of letting people not know. I mean, on my Instagram, I always give a sneak peek of what I'm working on, but as for which one I'm gonna do next, I don't want to keep promises. Yeah, so not saying. All right, who is my favorite queen ever? My mom. Just kidding. I like quite a few for various reasons. I like a lot of them. I don't think I have a favorite. I mean, one of them that's really up there for me, who I think is just freaking hilarious. But there's so many. Okay, let's see. I'm being really dramatic about the struggle of deciding which one's my favorite. Okay, I'll have a top few. So Alyssa Edwards, love her, hilarious, so funny, and I think a lot of it is her, she's unintentionally funny. And I love the fact that she laughs at her own jokes before anybody else does, even if people don't think they're funny, but she laughs at them, and it kind of reminds me of myself when I tell a joke and I'm dying before I can even finish it, and some people don't get it, but I think I'm hilarious sometimes. I also love Trixie Mattel. She is hilarious. I love her witty humor, and the banter between her and Katya is freaking awesome, and their chemistry, I just enjoy watching them. I love Violet Chachki because of her appearance and her aesthetic. I think it's so awesome to watch, and I love when they're so visually appealing. I think all the queens that I've listed so far are super visually appealing. And I also love Naomi Smalls. I love her whole kind of 90s supermodel aesthetic, the long straight hair. It's my favorite thing on her. And just the model-esque aspect that she portrays. And Yeah, I have so many. I like a lot of them for various reasons, but those are the ones that come to mind right away. Yeah. It kind of feels like I'm just like grabbing at my crotch. Have you ever done drag, and what was/would be your drag name? So I have done drag quite a few times. Not always the best, but I've done it. So I didn't really have a name or have a name. I feel like I still try to figure it out. I mean, I'm not super funny, so I don't want it to be too comedic because it's like false promises. I don't know what the name would be, but I have done it a few times. The first time I did it was my 25th birthday, and I had a drag party, and basically I made all the guys dress as women and all the women dress as men. The funny thing was that the men were a lot more willing and excited to actually do it, and the girls actually had a really hard time dressing up as guys, which is really funny. I felt like just put your hair up, put a cap, maybe draw a little mustache, and no big deal. They had like the hardest time doing it. They were so like, I don't want to look ugly kind of thing, and I just thought it was silly, but all the guys came through, which was awesome. I had so much fun. All the guys had a ton of fun, and then from there I would do it randomly, like at a pride, and then I started doing them on Halloween. So I've been Harley Quinn a few times, not the new one, but the OG one with the, you know, jester outfit with the black and the red. And then I've also been Poison Ivy a couple times. So I think with those, I want to keep trying to get them to an awesome place where I just like feel like, okay, I've done this one and I'm good, I can move on, but for now I feel like I haven't done that yet. So until then, those will probably be my two staples. Short answer to your question, yes, I have done it before. When did you start painting and customizing dolls? Are there any other repainters who you look up to and admire their work? Okay, so I started repainting them because I actually saw a couple of videos of people doing that on YouTube, and I thought it was like such a cool idea. I mean, I've always loved illustrating, I draw a lot, and I just thought that was a cool idea because it's kind of like a new canvas to try on, and it was something I kind of was getting bored of drawing on paper, so I thought that got me excited and it got my creativity going again. And on top of that, I kind of got into dolls because I think, one, I've always liked them, especially kind of like the Monster High or like some cool Barbie ones, just because, I don't know, they're just cool to look at. They remind me of like illustrations, and all the creativity that goes behind them. They were just like something that I always thought was cool, and I'd always want to look at them. So when I started collecting them and saw that people would repaint them, I was like, oh, I should try that. That sounds fun. As for other repainters that I admire or look to, there's quite a few. So Noel Cruz, obviously, he's like major in the doll repainting. He paints the doll's faces and does the hair in such a realistic manner. It looks literally like a photo of the person on the doll. It's kind of scary how good it is, but he's awesome in like doing celebrity repaints. And then when I started learning more about the doll repainting, I looked to Dollightful. She is an awesome repainter who lives in Korea, and she is just super creative. Like, she makes all her own costumes, and I love her interpretation of characters. I thought she was super awesome from the beginning, and I've also like, you know, chatted with her just so that I can get like, you know, input, and like if I had any questions about anything, she's been super awesome to like help me learn. There's also this other guy, Hextian. He does a lot of cool repaints and is I admire like how crafty he is with the clothes and accessories that he creates for the dolls, because he all kind of does it by scratch. He doesn't really sew, so he kind of finds other ways to kind of get the end result, which is super awesome. And all of his repaints are very like anime, manga inspired. But yeah, those are a couple of the people that I looked. Oh, okay. And then there's this one girl on Instagram that I started following who is super awesome, super talented. Her Instagram name is Culur Theory, and she is so good. And she's developing her own doll. called Eerie, and I'm totally excited and I want to repaint and buy one of those. But yeah, super talented, young girl, amazing. But yeah, there's quite a few people that are super talented at this that I look to. Yeah. You should do some repaints of RuPaul's Drag Race winners next. I love to see a Bianca or even a Ru doll. Well, I have done, well, they're all winners in my eyes. But Violet Chachki, she won RuPaul's Drag Race, so she's one of the winners. I do, like I said, I have quite a few that I plan on doing. So maybe a few of them won, maybe a few of them are my favorites and didn't win. So it varies. What is your favorite Monster High doll? My favorite Monster High character, I kind of like any of the cat ones. So Katrine is like my ultimate favorite. And then Kitty Noir, she's cool too. So I think I'm just fond of the cat human kind of situation that's created in that doll. Okay. Do you plan on recreating any looks from season 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race? Well, yes, I do. I'll just leave it at that. All right. What was your favorite doll to make and what dolls do you plan for in the future? My favorite one to make, honestly, like I loved all the Monster High ones. They were super fun to do, but I think the new like Repaints have been the most fun because one, I get to work with my mom on it, and I keep saying that, but she's like amazing. Like I love my mom to death. But those have been the most fun because I get to be the most creative. It involves drag, and I love drag and drag queens. And it's just kind of bringing them to life, the whole process, because it involves a new costume and everything. Those have been the most fun overall. All the repaints have been like my favorite so far. Okay, what was the other part? You had asked, what was my favorite and what do I plan on doing in the future? A lot of different dolls I plan on doing in the future. And that's as far as I'm getting. Do you use something special before you repaint the dolls, or do the watercolor pens not even need it? And after, do you use something special to fix it? Okay. So basically, I use Mr. Super Clear, and I think most doll repainters use Mr. Super Clear. It's a special spray that kind of leaves like a gritty texture on the plastic, and it kind of gives it a paper surface, so you're able to use those watercolor pencils a lot better. I think, I'm not exactly sure why people use watercolor pencils, maybe because they're softer and you can add water and kind of soften things out. That's what I'm assuming. So I spray it with that first with a couple of coats, start drawing on it and spray it in between to save my progress. And then in the end, I spray it with like a final spray of it, the Mr. Super Clear, and then hope for the best. How do you restyle the hair? I've tried quite a few ways, and it kind of depends on the hairstyle that I'm going for. So if I'm lucky, the repaint that I want to do has straight hair and I won't have to do anything. But I reroute everything from scratch. So I pull out all the original hair, plug in all the new hair in the color that I need it to be. And then I either use small little perm rollers, and I put gel and wrap it in paper, roll the roller, and then do the whole set in the hair. This is one technique that I've done, and I put it in the broiler, which you have to be careful at like what temperature because I've melted a doll before. But the heat kind of sets it, and then after you put it in there for a few minutes, you take it out, put it in the freezer for a few minutes more, and then let it dry, and the curls stay pretty well. Another method is the boil wash method, where you use straws and bobby pins. I've tried that before too, so it just kind of depends on what you're into using, really. So either one works. I'm sure there's other ones. You could get a small curling iron, which I've done as well. So it just depends. There's so many ways to do it. There's so many people on YouTube that have amazing videos on teaching you how to curl dolls' hair and what various options you could use. So totally look those up. What is your favorite RuPaul's Drag Race season? As for my favorite season, I actually really liked the one with Alyssa Edwards when she was first on there, and All Stars. All Stars was really good. All Stars 2. that was so entertaining. Everybody was so comfortable, and everybody's personality came out like full strength, which was awesome to see. You know, they weren't too worried about the competition because in reality their careers like are doing super well. Okay, do you have any advice for someone who wants to start doing doll repaints? Easiest advice that I can give you is make sure you have all the products that you like using. So whatever watercolor pencils you feel that you like the best, make sure you get that spray, Mr. Super Clear, before. So helpful, so important. Try using acrylic paint too and see how you can balance the use between the pencils. And overall, just have fun. Just have fun with it. I mean, you're just being creative. There's nothing wrong with being creative. You gotta play around with it, see what you like, see what you don't like. Just have fun, as long as you're having fun. Don't worry about other people think or like compare yourself to anybody else's work, because everybody's different. And some people are gonna be amazing at certain things, and you may be amazing at something that somebody else isn't. So just have fun. That's all I can say, is have fun. Do you do commission work for queens? As of now, I haven't really been doing any commission work. I don't really have the time to, and I don't really make the clothing yet. You know, like I said before, my mom does it, and she kind of does it for me because, one, I'm her son, and it's kind of a favor, and I don't want to make her do stuff. She's very busy as well, so I get lucky that she actually does those things for me. But once I start learning how to sew and stuff later on, and once I feel more comfortable with my repaints, I may look into starting to do that. But as of now, no, I don't do any commissions, even for queens. Sorry. Do you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Yes, I do. I have a boyfriend. He's actually the guy that's in my doll hunt videos. Yeah, so yeah, I do have a boyfriend. What kind of paint do you prefer? Actually, like, I kind of use whatever's available. I don't have like a preference in the paints that I use. Yeah, I just kind of use whatever paints I find, mainly acrylic paint, if I do use acrylic paint, but most of the time it's the watercolor pencils. Yeah, it's nothing special. Can you please host a giveaway? Maybe. It's kind of hard to just, you know, give away the dolls that I repaint. I would maybe do a giveaway of like random dolls that I have that are not repainted, but as for the repaints, it's just like having somebody do something for you or paint something or do some kind of service. You know, it's not really free. A lot of my time goes into it, so I don't think I'd give a giveaway of one of those really, because I don't know, who knows, maybe later on I might, but as of now, no, sorry. All right, I think we only have like 3 more. Okay. Is the paint permanent, and what do you use? Acrylic paint, it's permanent, I guess, until you scratch it off, but hopefully you seal it with the Mr. Super Clear and protect it, and don't really play with them like toys. You know, they're more of art pieces. So acrylic paint, and it is permanent until you scratch it off, maybe. Okay, favorite season 9 queen. I have like 2 that I like so far, but I mean, that's just from like the brief interviews, and yeah, it's kind of hard to judge just like right off the bat, because I'm sure my opinion will change as I watch and see what they're able to do and like how their personality shows. But I love James Mansfield. I think she's hilarious. I love her little personality that she's created. I love the little voice and the little squeak. She kind of reminds me of a Jennifer Coolidge, but like quirkier, like from Legally Blonde. So she just reminds me of that. I think she's so funny. I liked her little intro video. I thought she was funny and still answered the questions, you know, with bringing a little bit of humor, which I thought was awesome. I know funny and humor are the same thing, and I said it twice, but whatever. She's funny. And then the other one that I liked is Valentina. So love me a Latina drag queen. I mean, she's gorgeous. Like, she's so pretty. Like, her face is painted so well, and I love her aesthetic. I love the whole kind of telenovela inspiration, and I've seen her perform live in person a few times, and I just love like how slow her body moves when she needs to, and the arm movements, and just her overall look. So initially, like, and she's from LA, and I'm an LA guy. Just cool to see Nele Latina on there. But yeah, those are like pretty much my initial 2 favorites, but who knows, so that's who they are. All right, I think we're on the last question. Okay, last question. Do you have an Etsy shop? No, I do not. I guess if I did end up selling any of my work, I would probably do it on eBay, maybe. I don't know. I know people sell their doll repaints on there. I've seen quite a few people sell theirs on there, so I think that's probably what I would do if I did. But I would totally let people know if I started selling any of my dolls or repainted. I'd probably post on my Instagram. So that's the Q&A. I hope I was able to answer everybody's questions enough so that you feel like I answered them, or answered whatever you were asking. This was fun. I hope you guys got to know a little bit more about me and what I do. So until next time, bye.